Say what's up, Loki. What's up, Loki? Small update on the deck fan here. Found a way to fix this giant gap here, and it's not what you think. Upon further inspection, I found that this deck fan already had a lift kit installed. You can see that this mounts to the spring perch area down to the coilover itself, and that lifts it about 3 or so inches in the front. Then I found in the rear these lifting shackles. You can see. So not being familiar with these, I did not know that these were lifted shackles. And from center to center is 8 inches, and they have these little spacers in between to keep them a little solid. With a solid rear, what lowers it is either the point of the springs, leaf springs on the axle, or the rear mounting point of the shackle. And these I found are also extended. Now I don't have a stock one to measure, but these are about 8 inches center to center, and these bolts here are only 4 inches center to center. So I'm gonna find out if I can just move the mounting point to here and then the frame mounting point to here, and that will effectively lower this thing 4 inches in the rear. To give you a better idea of what I got going on here, this is the mounting point for the rear leaf spring. I've now moved the leaf spring mounting point from the lowermost position up 1 space. That is lowering the truck by raising the leaf spring up 2 inches. Now I'm just going to move this spacer point to the mounting point, lowering it another 2 inches by moving this rear shackle up. And you got to center a little spacer in here. Just got to pop out. There we go. A little spacer in here. And now just gotta remove this guy. And then I will use the jack to then raise up and align the hole spacing. And that will be lowering, hopefully, we'll see, just guessing here, we're gonna lower this thing by a few inches at least. Now we're gonna jack it up and hammer it. There you go. Now you just gotta line these guys up. Reinstall the bolt. Make sure it all looks the same at least. Boom. Get the left washer and the nut. And then I will just tighten this all up, just not using this top spacer, pretending it's not even there. So now I've effectively changed the mounting positions from 8 inches apart to 4 inches apart, ideally giving me at least that much drop in the rear. All right, so I've done this on both sides now, just pretty simple, 4 bolts on each side, lowering the mounting shackles. And if this works out, I'll actually look further into making my own that are a lot better than just swapping the bolts around on some kit that was already on this car that I have no idea where they came from, and see if we can't get this thing to be just a little bit lower. Absolutely no denying it. That is indeed much, much lower. So now we just have to do the same to the front. Take off this lifting kit up front. Okay, back done. Front jacked up. Let's check something out. So this guy is about, what is that? Just about 3 inches raised up with that guy. And to access the top of it, pretty simple. Pop this little guy out. Now we got access to the engine, but also boom, boom, boom. Drop those 3 bolts. Hopefully just easily remove the little spacer here. Plug the regular one back in. We should be in business for a technically stock ride height deck fan. Got the deadlift jack holding the door open like a real bro, but we're gonna have to jack this thing up a little higher as this bolt doesn't really want to clear. So even though I already have it on 6 boards raised up, the wheel is touching the floor, so I'm not really able to get low enough just to be able to get this spacer cleared out. Just a minor inconvenience. I got to figure out how we can get this thing jacked up a little bit higher, and we will move on. And just thinking about it for more than 2 seconds, realized it would just be easier to just take the wheel off and find something to jack this guy up with. Yeah, that's gonna be the much better route. And now I seem to have plenty of access to this as well. So now I can just continue on, pop this guy off, and put it right back on for more low. Okay, so that one is not a 12 like the others. It is a 13. All right, so let's spin this guy around, stick that one in the hole so it can't spin on me anymore. And that worked. Sometimes it's always going to be something. Always something. All right. All 3 nuts off. Now let's see how hard this is going to be to pop off. Because what I don't want to do is take the whole damn thing out just for this guy. That'll be a pain in the ass. I mean, it's only 2 more bolts, but let's try if I can't just pull this guy forward, pop it off, and put it right back on. Being as stubborn as I am, I managed to get this out without taking anything else apart. So now this guy's out and I can just put another jack underneath here if I can't just pull it up by hand, bolt it back up, and we are in fact lower. And that's a good thing about working on these tiny lightweight trucks. I can just lift this guy up in here. There we go. Tighten them down. Of course, these are 12s and this one is a 13, because why would they all be the same? Boom. All right. Stock spring setup minus one lift kit. And of course, I will torque these up for real on the floor. Halfway done. Got the driver's side good to go. Just have to go to the other side and do the same thing. Here we are on the other side, getting a peek at this gigantic 600cc engine. Just about to do the same thing on repeat. Hopefully not have to fight so much, as I have a better idea of what's going on. And realizing now that I was able to do the other one by hand mostly because it was in fact a dead shock. So on this side, I am in fact going to have to take off the springs. And about 30 minutes later, I got this out. Say hi to Loki. What's up, Loki? That's not a dog. But here we are. Oh my God. That was miserable. That was a real pain in the ass. But going back together shouldn't be a problem. And the real major problem wasn't really the shock being, stronger on this side. It is, and that shows me that I do in fact need to upgrade these shocks and springs, which obviously they're all rusted anyway, so I still plan on doing that no matter what. Hopefully I can adapt some coilovers. Been doing a little bit of research on that. But the problem was, because of this extension, this lift kit, it was compressing everything so tight and extending the bottom of the shock. Let me see if I can show you. So the issue was, because of that lift kit lengthening the entire distance of this by 3 or 4 inches, whatever it is, the bottom of the shock here was actually coming in contact with the axle. So when I'm trying to press it down or lower the shock overall height to remove the adapter, it was hitting here and I couldn't get it to lower. The other side wasn't an issue because I was so easily able to compress this shock, so it was bottoming out. It was bottoming out on the axle, but that didn't matter because I would just compress the shock in the spring and it gave me enough room to pull the guy out. Now without that in there, everything is just a little bit more loose. I can easily lift this back up after way too much effort from something that should have been super easy. We can finally put this thing back together. I had to take apart the brake lines too, because I thought maybe the brake lines are what's giving me hold up here. So I removed the bracket from here. If I could just get this guy started. And good riddance to you. Now we have everything back together, minus lift kit. Just gonna put a zip tie on here, lower this guy, drop the seat, tighten everything up one more time just to be sure, and see how it looks. And actually, I couldn't find a zip tie anywhere. I just looked absolutely everywhere, junk drawers and all, but I was able to clean up the threads with a thread file and make my way and clean the threads up on the receiving end as well. And now, lo and behold, boom, no zip tie. Look at that, good as new. Wheel on, suspension tightened. One more look at this beast. Look at that, probably about 39 horsepower new, I think. Probably about 20 now with all the 30 something years old, 40 years old. Boom. All right, so now we just have to lower it and see how it looks. But if you ever wondered what I was using this truck for, you could see it's just full of hay. This was actually just being used as a farm truck here on the property. That's why it had those big ATV wheels. It was good to get around up this dirt driveway, back there where the goats are. This thing was perfect for that. But now I'll show you. We got a actual farm truck build. Look forward to the actual farm truck build that we're gonna go with this 1984 Jeep J10 4x4 4-speed truck. And I got some wild ideas planned. But for now, let's get back to the little K car. Maybe an update future on this twin turbo V6 all-wheel drive VR4. But let's put this thing on the ground. Safety first. Oof. Indeed lower. Let's let the suspension settle. Yeah, doesn't even look like the same thing. And technically this is stock ride height. Look at the difference in the fender gap here. And now for the dirt drive test. We are in four-wheel drive low. This doesn't look steep, and it isn't, but there's some loose sand here. So I didn't even put a lowering kit on, and it looks like a totally different car. Now, I'm missing a front bumper, so if you know anybody with a 1991 Daihatsu deck van bumper, let me know. But yeah, it doesn't even look the same anymore. And I got my ladies over here. You got, that's little mama. You got Luna's little baby. Oh, you got little soda pop hiding out under the car there. Anyway, let's get back to this guy here. So, big difference. The back seems much stiffer, and the front also seems to be much stiffer. But overall, I think the gap was about this high before, just on the fender well. Same, and the front was even worse. I still want to get the rear lower, you know, maybe about another 2 inches to match the front. But overall, it doesn't look like a goofy car walking on stilts anymore. So yes, it needs some improvement. I still have yet to drive it on the road to see how it feels, but considering we are no longer with the tall balloon tires from the ATV, without the lift kit, now with the much better, much stiffer road tires, and my Sniper 3-piece wheels that are my favorite wheels that I've ever owned, and I have a assortment of collector JDM wheels. Oh, Soda Pop, come here, baby. Come here, Soda Pop. Hi, baby. Come here. And Soda Pop making a cameo. Soda Pop. So Soda Pop loves it. You know, she's an American goat, Norwegian goat. So Soda Pop loves it. Soda Pop approves. And if you would like and subscribe and share with some people, you know, I can get some more projects going, build some more things, show some more goats. Go on, baby, run off. And I got some other things planned for this. I got a tailgate. I got an idea for a little wing. I need to get a front bumper and make a front air dam for that. I got some few other things planned, some lights. You know, if there's other things that maybe you got some ideas, I'm new to these. This is my first build like this. We got some things going on. Luna's coming to say hi as well. I got some ideas for this guy, but first and foremost, I still need to lower the rear. The front might be good to go. No need for coilovers. But yeah, today's a wrap. Pretty easy. Pull off the lift kit, adjust the rear shackles the best I can. I do have a lot more parts that I already have for this car sitting, waiting to go on. So follow along.